What's going on, guys? My name is Steve. Thank you for stopping by my channel. Today we're going to be reading to the truth about British rain. I think this will be a really good video to continue learning about British weather. A few weeks ago, I reacted to a video that was titled, Why 25 degrees Celsius Really Is Hot in the UK. And I definitely learned some interesting things about British weather in that video. And that was really the first time I've ever explored British weather in any way, really. And so I think this will be interesting because I must admit, when I think about British weather, one of the first things that come to mind is that you guys get a ton of rain. I'm not actually sure how accurate that stereotype is, but I must admit that is definitely one of the first things that would pop in my mind if someone was to ask me about British weather. You guys tend to have a lot of very lush green areas, and obviously Ireland is also known to get a ton of rain. And so I guess in my mind, I think that, British weather, is probably, you guys probably have a lot of rain as well. So anyways, guys, not really sure what to expect here, but I'm definitely excited about this one. I don't know why I'm so interested in the weather topic, but I must admit I do find, learning about weather in different areas, specifically in Britain now, I definitely find this interesting. So anyways, guys, let's go ahead and dive in and check out the truth about British rain, the great British weather.
Rain, rain, rain. Us Brits endure it on 199 days of every year.
Wow.
That's 4 sodden days a week. It just doesn't seem fair.
You
so
serious?
I've come to the Lake District to find out why the great British weather is amongst the wettest in Europe.
This
4 days a week?
is the ideal vantage point to understand our weather. We're nearly 1,000 feet up in one of Britain's rainiest...
Whoa, hold on. I just got to admire this, dude. This is a beautiful area. Look at this, man. Wow, but 4 days a week? Man, I think we probably get rain on average here. I don't know. I don't really have the number off the top of my head, but it seems like maybe every 10 days or so, something like that. I don't know. I mean, wow, 4 days a week on average. That's crazy. I mean, I knew you guys probably got more more rain than we did, but that's crazy. I'm about to look up, see what the exact amount of days are here, to see if it's, to compare it. But anyway, let's continue.
regions. Over there is the Irish Sea and beyond the Atlantic Ocean, and that's where all our rain comes from.
Incredibly, much of the rain which ruins our summers began life 4,000 miles away in the Atlantic. Air collects moisture from the ocean, which in turn forms weather systems, which bring rain to the UK.
Warm, damp air travels thousands of miles across the ocean, and it hits our hills. And as the air is forced up, it cools down, forming clouds.
Clouds are born when invisible water vapour in the atmosphere condenses into tiny droplets, which then falls to the earth as rain. And it's this rain that forms these mountain streams, which then feed the glorious lakes.
The ancient Greeks had a theory that all of our rivers and lakes were fed by vast underground seas. And when you see all this water, whew, that's fresh. You can't really blame them. But in truth, every drop of our fresh water comes from the oceans.
Every
it's sucked
drop?
up into the atmosphere, it then forms into clouds, and then returns to Earth in the form of rain. Millions upon millions of tons of it. It's a never-ending cycle.
So do you guys in the UK, do you have a lot of springs? I love natural springs, man. I'm hoping that one day when I buy a piece of land, I have a natural spring going. It's so cool to, to get your water from natural spring. They're great.
And as it invades our shores from the Atlantic, it's the west of Great Britain that bears the brunt. Each one of these tubes shows how much rain falls on a particular square inch in certain parts of Britain in an average year.
That's interesting.
Starting with London.
That's 21. This is Glasgow, gets a little bit more, but this is the wettest city in the UK. Guess which one it is? It is...
I want to say, Manchester. Oh, I'm probably wrong, but So London is way down here. Okay. All right. And, London is the largest city. And so I'm sure a lot of you guys watching this are from London and or around that area. And so you guys would probably have more of the weather kind of like, well, not climate-wise necessarily, but rainfall-wise that I do here, or something similar. But if you're Glasgow, and then this is, let's see.
In fact, Swansea.
Oh.
But it's all pretty pathetic compared to the Lake District, which gets a whopping 79 inches a year. Remember, that's per square inch. So if you multiply that by the area of the Lake District, Swansea, Glasgow and London, basically, it's a lot of rain.
Wow.
Just a few miles from the sea and made up of high peaks and deep valleys, the Lake District doesn't stand a chance.
Man, it's beautiful.
Well, you're almost guaranteed a soaking in the Lake District.
That's so
it rains
beautiful,
here,
man.
on average, 211 days a year.
211 days a year. Oh my goodness, man. Look how lush that is. Man.
The cliffs of Scarfell Pike, the highest peak in England, is a little village which has the dubious honour of being Britain's wettest inhabited place.
Seathwaite in Cumbria is home to the Pratt family, inhabitants of Raingage Cottage at the edge of the village. Probably the wettest house in England.
Wow.
Where and when did you find out that you lived in the wettest part of England?
We've always known, but just like when I was sat in geography the other day, just reading through a textbook when I was bored, and just looking in it and looking at it says the hottest place and it says the wettest place. I was like, that's me!
Did you feel proud?
I felt really proud. I felt so proud of myself.
Why is it here that it's so wet?
The fells sort of draw the clouds down, and then you get the different change in temperature, and you get rain, lots of it.
What's the worst period of rain you've ever had?
Probably the floods in 2009, I think.
Oh.
This is flooding on a scale no one here can remember, few could have imagined.
Everyone in Cumbria remembers the floods of November 2009.
I just remember it being rain for about 48 hours, torrential raining and not ever stopping, seeming relentless.
For 3 days, heavy rain fell on already saturated ground, causing many of the county's rivers to break through flood defences.
We managed to keep it out of the house, didn't we? But the road was hugely flooded.
On the 20th of November, Seathwaite alone was pounded by 2.4 inches of rain in just 24 hours, an unwelcome national record.
We're OK as long as we're here. If we're here, we can protect the house, but if we're not, then usually we can't get home.
When the water came last night, it was with such speed, such force, that nothing could stop it.
In Cockermouth, just 30 miles north, water levels in the town reached 2.5 metres.
That is the river at the moment, is the main street, is the river.
As the emergency services struggled to rescue 500 people, PC Bill Barker tragically lost his life when the bridge he was warning motorists not to cross was swept away.
Have you ever seen anything like these floods?
Never.
No.
It was described by the Environment Agency as a once-in-a-thousand-year weather event.
There have been reassurances that the worst of the weather has passed.
But just 4 days ago, half the average rainfall for July fell on parts of Cumbria in only 24 hours, proving yet again that the power of the Great British weather should never be underestimated.
Man. All right. Wow, guys. It sounds like you guys get a ton of rain, obviously depending on what part of the UK you're in, but it seems like for the most part, you guys get a lot more rain than I'm used to. I think because I don't get crazy amounts of rain. Don't get me wrong, there's sometimes we'll get rain for 2 or 3 days at a time, but it's very rare. I mean, it's very rare. We had one of those like a couple weeks ago, but generally speaking, like I said, on average, I guess we get rain, I would say once every 10 days. I don't know. I don't know for sure. It depends on the season too. I think is it autumn here? We get a little more rain. I can anyway. So considering you guys get so much rain, what do you think about it? Even though you get a ton of rain, do you still love the rain? I'm the type of person, I generally do. I like a good cloudy, rainy day because, like I said, we don't get as many as I'm sure a lot of you do in the UK. So when I do see that type of day, it's just really nice. And especially on a day where you're tired, you haven't got a lot of sleep. The worst thing when you're really tired and sleepy, like you didn't get no sleep, is to have a bright, sunny, hot day. Instead, you want a cool, cloudy, rainy day. It's just kind of laid back. But, you know, a question I have is, with all that rain, do you guys have an issue with mold? Black mold is horrible. My mother is, she's severely allergic to it. She cannot be around it at all. It'll cause her some major health issues. As for me, I think I'm sensitive to it. I can tell when there's mold around, and is something I definitely got to be aware of. And so I'm curious, do you guys have mold issues? I'm sure obviously mold exists, but I'm saying, do you generally, a lot of your houses are older and whatnot, although they tend to be stone. I'm guessing would stone have, I guess stone would carry mold more effectively than probably some of our modern building materials. But do you guys generally see a lot of mold in your houses and things like that? Let me know in the comments, guys. But all in all, this was interesting. I definitely like to continue exploring your weather, learn more about it. So if you have videos that you think I might find interesting about any type of weather topic when it comes to the UK or Ireland, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I'd love to see them. Definitely enjoy this topic. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Please click that like button. Feel free to drop your comments or suggestions about this video or others. And don't forget to subscribe to continue to follow me on my journey to discover my British and Irish ancestry. Until next time, guys, peace.